All right. Hey, second graders, it's your turn. I'm trying to find a happy spot for my, okay. Hi, second graders. Okay, this is your week 8 packet review. I hope that some of you watched the video from last week, and I really hope that it helped you a little bit try to figure out what the expectations are that I have for you for these packets. Okay, so we're gonna do it again. This is week 8. It has been 2 months, you guys, since we have been in school, and I know that learning at home is hard and weird and very different. And I just want you guys to know that I'm so proud of you, and I'm proud of all the work that you guys have been turning in. When you give your work packet to the bus drivers or when you drop it off at school, Miss Irina and some of the other office workers, they are putting your work through the copy machine and they scan it into teachers. So I get to see all of that work that you guys are doing, and I sit at home and I love looking over it and giving you guys that feedback. I know that the feedback is different. It's not me sitting right next to you in class and saying, hey, don't forget to do this or try this. I have to do it by writing on the packet, which is fun, but I hope that you guys are seeing that and understanding maybe what your next steps are. And if you don't understand, just make sure that you are asking mom and dad, hey, I really need to talk to Mrs. Kadera. I don't understand what I'm doing, because I'm here for you guys. You can call me. You can send a message on Remind. We can Zoom. I got to Zoom for the very first time with 2 of my students, and it was so, it filled my bucket to see their faces and to know that they were okay. And so if you guys ever want to Zoom, I'm here for you. Okay, so let's go over your packet. You have your cover page. The standards that we are working on, there's one little change. Last week we were working on asking questions, and I want you to see right here, this week we're really focused on answering questions. So reading a text and then answering some questions about what we read, okay? We're still working on decoding second grade words, and we're still working on writing with correct capitalization and punctuation and grammar, okay? We still have your vocabulary words. What I want to show you is that for second grade, we took our test last week, right? So now you're moving on. You're focused on these words right here. So these words, I want you to try to use them in a sentence. Draw a little picture. Once you understand what they mean, you have to do your own research on this, you guys. Once you understand what they mean, draw a little picture, draw a little sketch on this page. This page gets torn right out. Don't turn it into me. Keep that page at home and practice with those vocabulary words. The next 2 pages are just a guide. If you need to know Monday, this is what I need to do. Tuesday, this is what I need to do. Then these are your pages. This is what tells you Monday, what's my assignment? What does Mrs. Kadera want me to do? Okay. Some students need that. Some students just look at a packet and every day they're going to work on a packet a little bit. Okay. However you are learning the best at home, that is what I want you to do. Okay. All right. We get to read a really cool article. This is a science article. It is a nonfiction, which means it's going to give us facts about real things, real people, or real places. And it's a really great article about a new invention that they created in Africa where there isn't a lot of running water. So you and we can go over to the faucet in the kitchen or in the bathroom and we can turn on our faucet and water comes out. But not everywhere in the world has that. And so there were some people in Africa that really had to get creative, and they came up with a new invention to bring water to people. So you're going to be reading about that, and it's a cool article. I know that it looks like a lot of words, and I just want you to know that you take your time with this, okay? Just like we were doing our expert groups in class, you read a sentence and then stop and think about, okay, maybe circle or highlight the most important word in that sentence. What do you really want to remember? Maybe add a little sketch to it and then read the next sentence, okay? Maybe in one day you're only reading a paragraph. Maybe you're only reading this first chunk the first day, okay? And maybe The next day you're reading that. Maybe it takes you more than just 1 week to get through this, and that's okay as long as you are understanding what you're reading, okay? So there's a diagram right here that I really want you guys to look at. A diagram helps you understand and puts labels so that you understand how something works, okay? So I added that for you. And then here is where we're going to practice our answering questions. I'll read the questions to you, and then you guys will need to write your answers on the line. So question 1 says, what do you know about water? Question 2, how do some people in Africa get water home? Question 3, what makes the play pump merry-go-round move? Question 4, look at that diagram. Where does water go after it's pumped out of the ground? And number 5, where are play pumps located? Means where are they found? Okay, here's what I want you guys to look at. See these questions? So 1, 2, I want you to look at your text, and I kind of gave you some hints. So if you see right here, it says Q1. Right there, see? That means question 1. So for question 1, you are probably going to find your answer in that first paragraph, okay? And so I gave you some hints. After reading each paragraph, you can go over to your page and you can answer each question that goes along with Q1, Q2, Q3, okay? So it's a little bit of extra support for you guys. We have a grammar page that we're going to work on, and this week we are focused on adverbs. And so adverbs are... It's a really funny word, but let's look at it. Let's split it apart. Adverbs. I know what a verb is. You guys know what a verb is. A verb is an action word, right? So we know that it's an action word. And add, that sounds like another part of speech that we know, right? An adjective. So it's it's a word that describes a verb. So it tells how a verb happened. So if you are walking, how can you walk? I can walk slowly. I can walk quickly. I can walk jumpy. I can walk sluggishly. I can walk happily. I can walk briskly. So adverbs are just words that tell how you're doing something, okay? So we read the rule. We have our grammar rule here. Adverbs tell about actions. Adverbs tell how something happens. Lots of times, here's your clue, lots of times adverbs end in ly. That is a clue for your brain. So when you look at words and you notice that a word has an ly at the end, it's probably an adverb, and you're probably thinking, what verb is it describing? Okay, so here's your assignment. It says read the adverbs in the box. Here's the box. So all of these words are adverbs. Write the adverb that will correctly complete each sentence, and then read a sentence to somebody in your house, okay? So these are the adverbs that we have. The first one's done for us. The sun shines brightly in the sky. So they chose brightly. We can use all of these, just like your test-taking strategy. When you have an option of words, try using each word in the sentence. Which one makes sense? Which one sounds like something a teacher would say, is what I always say. Does it sound like something Mrs. Cadero would say? Okay, so if you're looking at number 2, it says, are you ready to go? Mom whispered, let's try. Softly. Mom whispered softly. Mom whispered loudly. Mom whispered proudly. Mom whispered quietly. Or Mom whispered safely. What do you think? Write the adverb that you think finishes that sentence. Write it in the blank, okay? So you're going to do that with all of those sentences, and you're lucky because it has all of your adverbs there. So as you use one, just cross it out and then move on to the next one, okay? All right. This week, you guys get to do a science experiment at home. So if you have some time and you want to do this is a really fun, easy science experiment where you get to make rain, okay? So right here, you have your materials that you need, okay? So those are your materials. And right here, you have your directions. I ran out of space, okay? And we also have another diagram. Diagrams are important text features. So when you are reading a book or you're looking at a magazine, a diagram tells you how something works, okay? So lots of times there's labels, there might be a caption. Here's a caption right down here, so it kind of explains the diagram. And down here, I have one question for you. Use what you know, and in your own words, tell me how rain forms, okay? So after you do the experiment, and then you look at the diagram, then you're going to use your second grade words and you're going to tell me, how does rain form? Okay? All right, this is a new page for us, but I wanted to add it because I think that is important as you guys get up to third grade next year, that you learn some of these editing marks. And in editing and proofreading, those are just big fancy words and just means, how do I make my writing better? Okay, so sometimes there's little sneaky symbols that we can use. You guys have seen me use this one a lot in class. So if I put those 3 lines underneath a letter, that means that letter should have been capitalized, okay? So I use these all of the time. It says, use the editing marks to edit and proofread this paragraph. So here's what we're going to look for. Look for adjectives that were used correctly. Look for adverbs that end in ly. And look for dialogue, which means somebody's talking with quotation marks, okay? So here we go. I'm lonely, said Ocean. What are we missing there? Ocean's waves crashed loudly on the sand. I'm a little confused about that. Here's what I want to know first, though. Do you see right here? It says insert quotation mark. So this is all he says. So I need to insert a quotation mark right there, okay? And then I'm going to keep reading, and I can use all of these different marks. So if I need to add a word, then I can use this little caret. This is called a caret. So I would put the caret down somewhere wherever I needed to add a word, just like I did with the quotation mark, and I would add my word up above. If I need to take something out, I can go like that. If I need to move a word, I can circle the word and then draw an arrow to where I want to move it, okay? And if I want to check spelling, we do this all the time in class. If I want to check spelling, maybe that's not spelled right, I can circle it and I can put a little SP question mark, or I can just circle it, okay? So those are some editing marks that you guys have. I want to see that. And then the very last thing is your writing prompt. And this week, I really want you to think about next year as you come back to school and you're going to be in third grade. I would really like you to start thinking about, what do you need as a person? What do you need as a learner? What things do you really want your teacher to know? Next year, when you go into third grade, you're going to have a brand new teacher. And thinking about you learning at home now, you know what you need at home. You know what you need in school that really helps you. What are some things that a teacher can do? Or what are some things that your mom or dad have done, or your siblings, that have helped you as a learner? So this is your chance to really share with your teacher, and I can keep these and give these to your teachers next year. What are some things that you really want your teachers to know that help you as a learner, okay? So you get a chance to share that. We have another coloring page. This is just practicing your sight words. And we have your self-assessment. So how are you doing? These are the standards we're working on this week. I can answer questions. I can look for long vowel spelling patterns. And I can remember capitals, periods, and capitals, periods, and correct grammar when I'm writing, okay? I'm just noticing that this one is not a standard that we worked on. I didn't change that. So please don't do that one, because we didn't work on long vowel spelling patterns this week. I didn't change that to, you can either not do it, I guess, or you can change it, and you can change it to, I can use adverbs, because that's what we did for grammar, okay? So this one should be, I can look for adverbs. Didn't change that, guys, sorry. So you can either not do that one, or you can change it to adverbs and tell me how you think you did on finding adverbs and using adverbs on that grammar page. Okay? All right, you guys, that's it. I hope that this helps you. If you have questions or need some support, just let me know. Your parents can get a hold of me. You guys can get a hold of me through Remind, through a phone call. We can Zoom if you want to. I'm here to help you. So have fun and do your best this week. Be amazing. Don't forget to be respectful and make good decisions and solve your problems at home. You are practicing those 3 personal standards no matter where you are I miss you guys, and I will see you next week.